What's up guys, Learning with Rich here. In this video, we are going to learn how to create ductwork for secondary supply air systems. So in this exercise, we're going to create ductwork to physically connect system components. And this workflow for me is the one of the Revit Mep recommended best practice for systems creation. So in this exercise, we're going to use the system browser also to validate the systems. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add ductwork using the generate layout tool. So I'm gonna zoom in to this portion where we have placed 5 air terminals, and then we also have here our equipment. Okay, so to generate the layout automatically, so don't worry, I'm gonna show you how to create your ductwork manually as well. So I'm gonna select one of the air terminals here, and then from the modify air terminals tab, so there is this layout panel wherein you can select generate layout. Okay, so I'm going to select this one. Okay, and then after that, so as you can see, we have here solution type on the options bar, wherein you can browse the different solution that Revit offers for you to take on. So like, for example, for network, so you have 6 options here. So you can browse that for you to be able to see and select the best layout for your design. And aside from that, you can also modify this layout after you generate it. Okay, so let's say, for example, I'm gonna select here the network. Okay, so on my network, so each with branches off the main duct at 90 degrees. Okay, so I'm gonna select here the settings. So it will open up the duct conversion settings. So in these settings, as you can see, we have the main branch. That's the color blue one, and then the main is the blue, the branch is the green, and there is a small problematic area here, but don't worry, we're going to check that one out if that is really a problematic area. Now, I want to modify the main here. So for the duct type, I do not want to use a round duct here. So I'm going to change this to rectangular duct mitered elbows tees. And then I want to change the offset. So instead of 9 feet, I'm going to make that 9 feet 10 and half of an inch. Okay, and then for the branch, all right, so I'm going to change the duct type here. So I'm going to select same rectangular duct mitered elbows tees. Okay, the offset is same as my branch, 10 and 1/2. Okay, so flex duct, I want a flex duct round, flex round. So click that one. And then for the maximum flex duct length, I'll just make it 3 feet. And then I'll just select OK. All right. So as you can see, it now becomes blue here. So what I'm going to do is, you can still edit this layout by selecting here the edit layout. So let's say I do not want that to go to those lighting fixtures, for example. You do not want that to be inline on those fixtures. So I'm going to select edit layout. Okay, and then I'm going to click one of the main duct here and then just drag it here to the left side. Okay, so be careful not to drag the main duct too close to the diffusers. So if there is not enough room for the software to create the necessary fittings, you'll get an error in a later step. Okay, now after that, let's say you finish already editing, so you can now select finish layout. So just click finish layout, and I'll just cancel this. And take note that sometimes errors may occur while attempting to create the duct geometry as a result of converting a layout or during sizing. So the most common cause of these errors is that the duct usually has insufficient space to be created, or offset elevations are incorrect. So either you relocate the system components or select a different layout solution or manually modify the duct, which I prefer. So remember, always check duct connectivity after modification. Okay, so for you to be able to check if your connections are, if your ductwork are connected, so you just need to hover your pointer to one of the duct. No need to click, just hover your pointer until it highlights, and then just press tab, and then tab again, and then tab again. So you can see that it will highlight the whole duct work. So if you click that, so as you can see, it highlights all the duct work. So that's the system name that we have created last video. All right. So you just escape. So that's how you check. So let's say you highlight one of the duct and then press tab again. And then you notice, let's say, for example, your air terminal here is not highlighting. So meaning to say it is not properly connected. So you need to manually modify that particular duct to connect to that air terminal. But in this case, it's all connected. Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, by the way, if you're going to check here the system browser, so notice that the ductwork is not listed on our system browser because the ductwork is a physical, not a logical connection. Thus, it is not part of the system browser. Okay, so you can delete the ductwork and the system will still remain. Okay. Right, so hopefully that one is clear. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a color scheme legend. Okay, so to do that, just go to the Analyze tab. And then let's look for the color fill panel. So there's the duct legend. Just click that one. And I'm just going to place it here. Click that one. And then I'm going to use the color scheme duct color fill flow. So I select this. And then I select OK. So using a flow-based color scheme, you can verify the connectivity as you create a system. Okay? Okay, so notice that the legend also includes all the possible values for the color scheme, but not all values are used in this view. So we only have here some, how many colors? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we only have 4 colors, but as you can see here, Revit includes all possible values for the color scheme. But then again, not all values are used in this view. So let's modify the legend display. So I'm going to select the legend here, and then you select the type properties or edit type to open the type properties, and then just look for values displayed. Click that one. Click the drop down arrow and then just select by view. And then just select OK. And there you go. So it's now properly showing. Okay, so the legend now shows only the color scheme values used in our current view. Now, let's modify the flow value. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to select here our heat pump. So I select our equipment here. And then after that, you can see here on the instance properties that the airflow is 2125. Okay, so that's the CFM value of our equipment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of the diffuser. So say, for example, I'm going to select this one here. So I click one of the diffuser in my system, and then on the options bar, so I'm going to change this to, let's say, 325. Okay, so I'm going to decrease the flow value by 100 CFM. And then I'll just press enter. So you will notice there right away that the color fill for the connected ductwork has updated. Okay, and then if you're going to check again your heat pump or your equipment, you can check the instance properties that the airflow is now updated with the change. Okay, so the outflow for the WSHP or our equipment is calculated as the sum of the airflows for all downstream air terminals. Okay, so just remember that one. So I'll just select here modify to deselect. Now, let us edit the color scheme. So I'm going to show you how to edit the color scheme. So let's select, just need to select the color scheme legend, and then you look for edit scheme. So let's say you don't want that to be shown by flow. So I want that to be, let's say, velocity. So you use the velocity-based color scheme as a visual reference to confirm that air is flowing through the system ductwork at the appropriate velocity. All right, so you just need to select that one. And then again, we have the values here that you can set up. And then you can also change the colors that you want. You can also change the fill pattern. So by default, it's all solid fill, but you can change that fill pattern or hatch pattern. Okay, now I'm just going to select here OK to see how it looks like. There you go. So it's now updated. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to calculate duct sizes. Okay, so to do that, we need to select all of this ductwork, including the equipment. So to do that, just like what I have shown you earlier, you just need to use your tab on the keyboard. So you just hover your pointer, do not click, just hover your pointer to one of the duct, and then press tab. 1, 2, 3. So it highlights including the equipment. And then once it highlights all the ductwork, including the equipment, just click to select. So it's now selected. Okay, and then you can now see here the analysis panel wherein you can select the duct pipe sizing. So I'm going to select this one. And let's say I only want to size the duct work based on the friction only. So I only want the friction. I do not want to include the velocity. So friction only. And let's say I want to change the friction value to 0.08. And then for the branch sizing, so I want to make it calculated size only. And then I want to restrict the height. So instead of total height or maximum height of 10 inches, so I want to restrict that to 16 inches. Okay, so this is my sizing settings. So I'm just going to select here OK. And let's just wait. Okay, and then you will now notice that our ductwork is now updated, right? So if you get an error that there is not enough room to place the required fittings, so you need to modify the layout. Okay, so if there's a warning, just cancel that warning, and then maybe you can select the upper segment of the main duct, and let's say you can drag that to the right, and then repeat the steps necessary to select the entire system and resize it. Okay, so you will notice here that the ductwork and fittings are now updated. So the flow information graphically represents the properties of duct systems so that you can easily identify the problems with the system. All right. Okay, now the next part is I'm going to show you how to use the system inspector. So the system inspector is a tool that lets you place the cursor over each system to inspect it for airflow, pressure, and pressure loss. So using this tool, you can target problem areas directly in your design and resolve them. Okay? And also, the selected system components or duct must be logically, meaning they have a system, logically and physically connected for you to use the system inspector to inspect airflow and pressure inside ductwork. So ductwork and system components must be connected to a system or logical connection, and the system must contain ductwork, which is the physical connection. All right. So I'm going to select one of the duct here. So let's say I'll just click this duct. And then you can see the analysis panel here. So there is this tool that is called System Inspector. So just click that one. Okay, and then there's your System Inspector. Just click Inspect. And then you can now move your cursor over the system components. Like, for example, just hover like that. As you can see, there's no pressure loss there. So there's the flow. There, we have the flow, static pressure, and then we have the pressure loss. So just hover pointer there. Okay. Right. So there's a 0.01 pressure loss here. So you can use this information uh, that shows this flow, static pressure, pressure loss to find deficiencies in the system so that you can modify the system design accordingly. Okay, and then just hover your pointer, so you can see that one, right? And also, as you inspect a system, remember that all information is color coded according to pressure. So red information and arrows indicate the highest percentage of pressure loss due to friction. It is also known as the critical path. Okay, all right. There you go. So all of this will be coming from the equipment here, and then there's the flow direction coming here. So the direction is correct, right? Okay. So there you have it. Okay, so in this video, we have learned how to create, just finish your system inspector, by the way, if you're done. Okay, so that's it. So we have learned how to create ductwork for secondary supply air system. In our next video, we are going to modify existing ductwork and then use some tools to connect components to the existing air system. So we are going to learn how to manually create ductwork. All right, so hopefully you learned something. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.